Welcome to our election focus. With so many races and so many candidates jockeying for position in the upcoming primary, we weren't able to get the in-depth conversation that we had during the Annapolis city election. So this time, we're shaking it up a little bit. We identified key challenged races and invited all of the candidates to pitch us. In each 10-minute recording, we present a single question to the candidate. I am a new voter. Why should I vote for you? And after that, the candidate has up to 10 minutes to pitch themselves, and if they run out of time, we hang up on them. It's very simple and mildly therapeutic. Joining us now is Beth Smith. She is a Republican running for sheriff of Anne Arundel County. Hey, I'm a first-time voter here in Anne Arundel County, and I'm not sure who I'm going to vote for sheriff, and I know that you're running for sheriff, so why would I want to vote for you?
Hi, my name is Beth Smith, and I'm a Republican candidate for the Anne Arundel County Sheriff's Office. And I'm going to spend a few minutes here, and I'm going to tell you about myself and my background. And then I'm going to talk to you about the Sheriff's Office as a whole. And then I'm going to talk to you about my plans for the Sheriff's Office. So to start with, I was born and raised in West Virginia. And at 18, I raised my right hand and I swore to serve and protect in the United States Army, military police. I spent 4 years in the Army, rose to the rank of sergeant. I was a guard commander, the youngest guard commander over at Fort Meade. I was the president of the Non-Commissioned Officers Association. I did a lot of work with Special Olympics. And at the end of my 4 years, I left the Army, and I had a decision to make. And the decision was whether to return to West Virginia or to stay here in Maryland. And I chose to stay here in Maryland, and I chose to stay in Anne Arundel County, because I took a look around and I thought, this is where I want to make my home. And at that point, I had a decision to make, and that was what law enforcement agency, because at the young age of 5, I declared to my father and my 2 brothers, who primarily raised me, that I was going to be a police officer. So at that time, there weren't many women in law enforcement, so I was heavily recruited. But I chose the Anne Arundel County Sheriff's Office, and I chose the Sheriff's Office because of the duties that the Sheriff's Office does. So ultimately, of course, I was hired at the Sheriff's Office, and I went through Baltimore City's Police Academy, graduating second in my class. And then I returned to work in the Sheriff's Office. I worked every unit in the Sheriff's Office. I started out in courthouse security and then moved through the different parts, the civil process, the child support unit, warrants, and I rose through the ranks. Went through the promotional process and rose through the ranks, and becoming the first minority ever promoted in the Sheriff's Office to first woman to be promoted to lieutenant, and which kind of fascinated me in this day and age. So then as I rose through the ranks, I went back and I supervised each unit. Now let's talk about actually what the duties of the Sheriff's Office is. You are very blessed here in Anne Arundel County, and you are blessed in the fact that you have the Maryland State Police, who patrol the highways and, the state highways primarily. You have if you live in Annapolis, you have Annapolis City Police. And out in the county, you have Anne Arundel County Police. And then you have the Sheriff's Office. Now, the Annapolis City and Anne Arundel County are your 911 call for service. In other words, if you're in a car accident, now that can either be the state police or one of the other 2 agencies. But if you if you're a witness or a victim to a crime, typically you call 911. One of those two agencies are going to show up. The easiest and the cleanest way to think of the sheriff's office is the long arm of the court system. They enforce any court orders that come out, along with protecting the court, they enforce any court orders that come out. So that means that the sheriff's office protects the circuit court. They're in charge of the physical security, or supposed to be in charge of the physical security of the courthouse. They transport all the prisoners. They do all the civil process, meaning they're responsible for any summonses, any landlord-tenant paperwork that needs to be served, any criminal summonses that need to be served. They're responsible for that. There's also a domestic violence unit who is responsible for serving all protective and peace orders.
5 minutes.
And then there's a child support unit. And the child support unit serves all summonses and warrants in relation to child support. Now, there are some issues in the sheriff's office, which is why I stepped up to run. Getting away from the current personal issues of the sheriff's office. There's $110,000 that's been misappropriated. There's a child support grant that's in jeopardy of being lost. So when I become your sheriff, it is my intent to, first and foremost, I'm going to secure the courthouse. And then I'm going to call for a complete audit of the sheriff's office from basically from nose to toes. I want everything audited. I want to know, and then I want it to be made public. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to realign the civil process unit, and I'm going to put the child support unit back together again. That needs to happen because, again, we're in jeopardy of losing that grant, and we just can't. We, the taxpayers, you, the taxpayer, cannot afford for that to happen. Families can't afford for that to happen. So, and with me, I will be bringing back a retired captain who is also a veteran, a Marine Corps veteran. I'll be bringing a retired captain back as my second in command. So what you're going to get when you get me as your sheriff is you're going to get the very first veteran to ever be the sheriff, the very first deputy sheriff to ever be the sheriff, and the very first woman to ever be your sheriff, the second in the state of Maryland. I'm a single mom. I'm a woman of faith. I'm a Rotarian. I have continued to serve from the time I was 18, my country and my community. And that's what I'm looking forward to bringing back to the sheriff office. I'm looking forward to bringing honor and integrity back to the sheriff's office. That's my goal. Thank you so much for your time. And if I can answer any other questions, or if I haven't answered your particular question as a first-time voter, you can reach me on my website at www.bethsmith4sheriff.com. I also have a Facebook page, Beth Smith for Sheriff. And just a friendly reminder to everybody that early voting starts on the 14th and runs through the 25th of this month, with the primary election being on June 26th. Please be an educated voter, and please exercise your privilege to vote. Thank you so much for your time and this moment to spend with you.
For more information on Beth Smith, please visit her website, bethsmithforsheriff.com, and that's BETHSMITH, 4 SHERIFF.com. Beth Smith, 4 sheriff.com.